It's incredible. And that's the same technology with publishing. See, publishing, I went to the World Cup in 1998. I was staying outside of Paris and I was writing a special report for Shell in this day, and one in, I don't know what other newspaper. Every evening, I would get back to my room. I would handwrite. On the sheet of paper, handwrite. I would take it, enter the train, board the train, and take the train to Paris and go to the post office to go and send this by fax to our office in Lagos, in Complete Sports in Lagos, by fax. Half of it would not even appear, half of it would be dark pages. And they would decide, because it had to be printed, it had to be published the following day. Now they will start guessing, what did you write? Because to even phone me was a problem. We went through all that process. They would typeset, do this, do that. Now, even on my phone, I write reports, I add pictures, I do anything you want to do, I add sound, and I just send. And within a few minutes, boom, the world can read it. It's a different world. Sorry. Talking about, okay. I woke up and people were congratulating me, and then it took a while for it to settle in my head, and for my even thinking to wrap itself around the number 70, because the people that get to 70 are very old people in my thinking. When my father was 57, I visited him in Gombe and he told me his age. I was a young boy in secondary school. He told me his age. He said he was 57. And I looked at him. How can you be that old? 50 what? 57 now. It's a long time ago. At 57 I was a boy. You see, it just creeps up on you unexpectedly, like a thief in the night. And you have to accept that you are an old man. But I refused to accept it until I saw the level of appreciation, the tributes, the messages. I did not even plan to do anything. My children in the UK wanted me to come to the UK so we can have, a family thing. But I couldn't go for various reasons. And my children here are young, so I just thought I should come and stay with Tito and his brother at home and just spend the day quietly. But when the messages started pouring in, and the carrying of persons that were sending in their messages and goodwill, and there was even one big page paid for by the governor of the state that I only met twice physically since he became governor, and I got greetings from the president. From former president called me on phone and was singing happy birthday to me, and some former governors sent me messages, and all kinds of people, and it just went on and on until my phone crashed. So that's when I said, wow. So there's this amount of goodwill for me. What did I do? I haven't done anything. The only thing probably that I did is like 40-something years ago. So is that what is sustaining this goodwill and all that? But friends have come around. They held a party for me here. I went to Ileobo over this past week to do some work, and people I didn't know, Adam, put together an incredible event, a party. Took me totally by surprise. I went into this hall inside the Leke Academy, and the guy had lined up 12 obas from that environment, led by the Odu of Igbo and all the other obas, and the whole community, and the whole. with music and food and drinks and cake and everything, the whole works. And there I was, you know, and I was thoroughly humbled by the experience. A friend put up another event in Lagos for me 2 days ago. Just like that. So many people have been calling me, oh, we want to host you here. Oh, we want to host you there. So it's been very humbling. I myself have not done anything. I'm struggling to to survive, the hard and harsh economic situation that we are facing now. And a party or something like that is the last thing on my mind. But finally, with all this amount of goodwill, I have become less afraid of the age 70, and I'm embracing it now. And I'm telling myself, it hasn't changed anything. I woke up the following day, nothing has changed. I still play my tennis, I still take my coffee, I still do my exercises, I still do my work. So it's been a number. 70 is just a number. And I'm so grateful to the Creator for giving me the grace of who I have been. I don't have stresses, tensions. I am blessed in too many ways. I don't know, I'm just so grateful, so grateful. And 70 is not anything to me anymore. But I know that we are getting older and older and closer to that inevitable end. So one should leave out the issue of tomorrow and do everything today now. So those are the lessons, that's all.
When you are, how did you feel when you clocked 65, and then of course before that 60? Did you also feel that way?
Those numbers didn't bother me, they didn't exist. I've never been bothered about age. Never. I don't think about it. I just do myself in my brain. I'm still a young person because I do everything that I've been doing before. When I go to play my tennis, for example, which is my major yardstick, and I don't play with my age mates. I play with the top players in Ogun State. I play with the top players in Ivory Club. I play with top players everywhere. And people will be saying, why are you challenged? Why are you playing so vigorously and so physically? Because that's the only thing I know. It has nothing to do with age. So, and the things that I do, I still do. Yes, there are creaks here and there in my joints and so on and so forth, but those things are normal. Health-wise, I thank God. I'm going through a few things, of course, high blood pressure issues. I don't know why I have high blood pressure issues, but I take my drug every day. Naturally, you get to a certain age, they warn you about your prostate, and yes, I take medication every day. Otherwise, I'm fine. So the ages have just come and gone. I don't know where they went to, but I've never really worried or thought or until now, this 70th. I didn't think about it too until this overwhelming flood of messages and goodwill, and it is still coming. It is still coming. A friend of mine whose daughter got married on the day of my birthday, I was to attend his wedding. I made up my mind I was going to attend his daughter's wedding because he's a very special person in my life. So, and since I was not having a party of my own, I thought I would go. But that morning, my family members had organized some things with a few friends in the house. It took me by surprise, and my wife had told a few people, and they came, and they just helped me up. So I couldn't go for his daughter's wedding. It was painful, but I'm sure he realized it later that it was because of my birthday I couldn't go. This morning, shortly before you came, he just sent me an envelope, and it contained a lot of dollars. I was just wondering, he gave me a card and all of that. And I was wondering, this is totally unsolicited for. I don't know why they will give me money and all that. But some people have truly been great. The former governor of Ogun State, Senator Musu, I've not spoken to him in years. I didn't even think that we had the wonderful relationship that we had before, after he left government. I didn't even think we had any relationship, because I contested at that time, and of course that must have created some animosity of some sort. That's what I thought, but he wrote me a beautiful letter, and he now included a check in it again. And I said, this is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. So these things have been positive for me in my life, and I just thank God for it.
I know you stopped playing football a few years back. Do you still regret stopping at that time?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It was, you should stop. Yes, I stopped a little bit earlier than I should have, but it was the right time for me as far as I was concerned. I was disillusioned with failure, inability to achieve what was just there for me to take. So if we had won at the cup in 1984, the Africa Club Championship, which no Nigerian team had won before then, which was our big dream, and we were on the verge of winning it, when I sustained bad injury at the semi-final stage, and they had to put me through the most excruciating and painful treatment you can ever imagine. For weeks, every day I would go to hell and come back with the nature of treatment I was receiving, just to get me in shape to be able to complete the championship. And the only match I could actually now manage to play was this final match, and I was not even half fit, but I had to do it because and it was at home. If we had won, without question, I would have been declared Africa's best player, because I was playing well throughout that year. That was my best year in terms of performance. I knew what I was doing. Rashidi Yekini was in the team with me. He was scoring goals. I was scoring goals, and he was very young. And so I was set to. But then suddenly it just collapsed at home. Yeah, and the nature of the collapse, because it had spiritual connotations, because nobody thought that we would not win, because they had gone to extraordinary length to consult with the false gods that assured them that we didn't need to do anything, we will win. And they were celebrating even before we played, and they were exalting, all these metaphysical aids and all of those things. And you can't take the glory of the Creator and give to Mammon. So we were taught a big lesson, and that eased my pain, because if we had won, so many of us would just have given credit to people that did not deserve it, and our lives would now have been fashioned to believe that those people have some extraordinary powers when they have nothing. So it was a lesson for us. It was very painful for me, and I lost everything. I didn't win. I didn't was declared best player. I didn't win the cup. I had an injury. So I just took my shoes and threw them away. And that was the last time I ever played. No, that's just for recreation. Okay. And after, when I first retired in 1982, as a result of the frustration of not qualifying for the World Cup, because we were to qualify and go for the World Cup in 1982, we lost also here in Lagos. I was frustrated. I retired, and the year after, in 1983, I registered a football club, which is still active today. So the first professional football club in Nigeria. I registered it officially with the CAC and with the Nigerian Football Association to participate in the Nigerian leagues, Nigerian competitions. The name of the club was Soccer Ambassadors, and we actually invited a team from Ghana, because the NFF they took me to task. But you can't set up a professional football team. Nobody will play in Nigeria because there was no professional football. Nobody will play, so I invited the team from Ghana. Invited retired players. People will remember I invited retired players who had retired. Christian Chukwu retired. Taiwo Gunjobi. I collected everybody, took them to Ibadan. And we played against was it Leventis United or something like that. And the NFA went after me. I said I couldn't play association football with my professional club. So I started indoor football. I now said, okay, I started indoor football, introduced it to the country, came to Lagos, National Stadium, paid for the hall, designed an interior seven-a-side football pitch inside the indoor sports hall. And we played a series of matches. At that time, we set up teams and I was using players and we started seven-a-side football in Nigeria, for the first time. I was taking on the NFA, However, all of that stopped when I now had to go back to start to play the game again. I was brought back by late Chief Adisa Akinloye and Chief Lekon Salami and all those people. So they wanted me to come back and play. So I came back and played, and when it didn't work out, I now finally left. But those were great years, great memories, and so I was really satiated. I was really satisfied with football. I didn't miss it. I didn't miss it at all. Even though now when I look at them, on the good pitches that they play on and all of the, wish I could still play. But no regrets at all for stopping when I did.
I know you're so in love with tennis. How did that start?
Even as a football player,
Okay.
I was playing tennis in Ibadan. Weekends I would go to Liberty Stadium with friends, and we would play tennis all day when we did not have matches to play. So I had always loved tennis. It was my alternate sport, and I knew how to play it, and I enjoyed it. So since then, I kept playing tennis up to now. I enjoy it. When you have a good game of tennis, you get all the exercise you need. It's hurtful to the knees, but I don't care. I can't. Golf is too slow for me. Walking is too slow for my heart. So I need something that's more vigorous. So I stick with tennis. Although I believe I will soon stop and take to another sport. But for now, I still play tennis.
When you look back at your life at
70, how do you feel? Telling you that to wrap my head around 70 is difficult for me. So my life has been very fulfilling. The football aspect of it. In the reaction of Nigerians, I find fulfillment that, okay, I didn't play for too long, but for the period I played, I'm very well appreciated. I was rewarded, with things I never dreamt of that still impact on my life up till now. So the football aspect of me is fulfilling. I never won best player in Africa. That one is the one that hurt a little. But aside from that, I'm not qualified for the World Cup, of course. But aside from those, stopped many decades ago. Since then, my life has been one adventure to the other. Very interesting adventures, very challenging. So they have totally engaged me. They have kept me busy. They've kept giving me experiences that you would never buy in the classroom, in the marketplace, or even get in the class. So these are things that still sustain me up till now. Depending on the subject matter, what I always say and is bought is that I don't qualify. I don't have the authority for many subjects because I didn't go to school to study them. but I have experienced them, and those experiences I have applied them, and they are invaluable now. They are my own lessons. So if you are interested to know my own experiences, not from the book, but from the perspective of somebody who did it with his hands, then pay me. So I will give it to you, but you have to pay me. And it's been fascinating, fascinating. I wanted to go back to school, to go to Unilag, to study philosophy. I had a conversation with my professor friend there. I said, Segun, don't bother. The philosophy you have is enough for application for your life. I am in sports, I'm in sports and health, I'm in sports and education, I'm in sports and the environment, I'm in sports and business. All of those things. I'm in the media, heavily into the media, but not the general media. It's in the sports media. There's nothing I have not covered in the sports media. So without going to school of journalism or going to any school for mass communication, but yet they invite me to come and deliver lectures and talk to practitioners in that field, not from any position of authority, of literary authority, but from the position of one who has been in the field, who learnt on the job, who is practicing like no other person is. And those are the things I sell up till now. So my life after football has just been one of adventure, and I'm creating it for myself without competition. I'm not competing against anybody, because the sports field, the sports industry, and the scope it covers are such that there are no antecedents. There are no people who have done it before to now compare me with. I was the first one to go into private independent television production in the area of sports. I'm one of the first people to go into even publishing when it comes to sports. I'm not talking of reporting sports in a newspaper. I'm talking of going into a sports publication itself. I'm one of the first people to write a book on sports. I'm one of the first people to go even into radio on sports. Not owning one, but using radio to drive the programs and cover events and all of those things. I worked with the BBC for some time, on several as a consultant analyst, even for the BBC during some international events. So I have vast experiences across the spectrum of sports without getting anyone from the walls of an institution. Those are the things I sell, those experiences.